In 2023, a guy making $140,000 a year legally paid far less federal tax than most people in his bracket. Same country, same IRS, same tax code, sitting right there in plain sight for anyone willing to actually go looking for it. The difference came down to a combination of strategic moves, starting with one provision most accountants never bring up unless asked. It is sitting on a page of the tax code that most people will never open in their entire lives. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what that provision is, how it works, and who it actually applies to. And no, this is not an offshore account. It is not crypto, and you do not need to be wealthy to use it correctly. You also do not need a fancy accountant flying in from somewhere expensive to make this work for your situation. Hit subscribe if you want to keep running the real math instead of the version that gets repeated online without any actual proof. Here's the part that sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it is really just Congress writing incentives directly into law on purpose. Most so-called loopholes are not glitches hiding somewhere in the system. They are deliberate choices written into the tax code itself. Congress wanted certain behaviors encouraged, so lawmakers built financial rewards directly into the actual language of the federal tax law. The IRS does not bury this rule in some hidden file. It sits published in plain, ordinary language for anyone willing to read it. You could find the exact text yourself tonight with a simple search, sitting right there in plain black and white text. Nobody needs a law degree or a connection inside Washington to go find this section and read it for themselves. So the real question is not why this provision exists. The real question is why almost nobody ever uses it correctly or at all. The honest answer comes down to complexity, low public awareness, and tax preparers who optimize for speed instead of digging for actual savings. Most preparers are paid a flat fee either way, so finding you an extra deduction does not change what they earned that day. There is no real incentive built into their job for them to go hunting through obscure sections on your behalf. A flat fee model rewards finishing your return quickly, not finding every dollar the law technically allows you to keep. And most people, understandably, never think to ask a question about a rule they've never even heard mentioned once. Okay? Here is the actual mechanism. And once you hear how simple it is, you will wonder why nobody explained it to you sooner. It is called the Augusta Rule, named after a city in Georgia where homeowners famously rent out rooms during a major golf tournament. Back then, the rule was written so homeowners would not owe tax on short-term rental income during one specific week each year. Over time, business owners realized the exact same provision could apply to renting their own home to their own company. The rule lets you rent your own personal home to your own business for up to 14 days inside one single calendar year. That rental income lands in your pocket completely tax-free, while your business simultaneously gets to deduct the same exact expense. Two sides of the same transaction, both working in your favor, both fully legal, both sitting right there in the code. Let us say you run a small business, and your home would normally rent for around $400 a night nearby. 14 nights at that local rate works out to $5,600, moving directly from your business into your own personal hands. Your business deducts that expense, which lowers its taxable income, while you personally owe nothing at all on that same $5,600. That is real money changing hands legally without a single additional tax dollar owed by either side of the transaction. But here is where it actually gets interesting. This benefit works whether you are clearing $40,000 a year or $400,000. The size of the benefit scales with your local rental market, not with how much money you already happen to be earning. Someone running a small consulting business in a modest town still gets real value out of this exact same provision. If this is completely legal, the obvious next question becomes, why is not absolutely everyone already doing this every single year without fail? The real friction comes down to documentation, fair market rent proof, and a strict 14-day cap that people accidentally blow past. Miss any one of those three requirements, and the entire benefit can unravel the moment someone actually reviews your filing. The 14-day number is not arbitrary. It is the exact line where the law stops treating this as occasional rental income. You need a real, documented business purpose for the meeting, a signed rental agreement, and proof of what comparable spaces actually charge nearby. Without that paperwork sitting ready, you are simply hoping nobody ever actually asks you to prove what you are claiming happened. An audit does not care how confident you felt. It only cares about what you can actually produce on paper. The single mistake that costs people this entire benefit is treating it casually instead of treating it like a genuine, enforceable lease agreement. People skip the agreement, skip the comps, and assume good intentions alone will somehow hold up under any real scrutiny. No invoice, no comparable rate research, no documented business purpose, and the entire deduction collapses the moment anyone actually looks closely at it. This is exactly the kind of detail that separates someone using this correctly from someone who only thinks they are. Let me show you what this actually looks like once you put real specific numbers next to it, instead of vague theory. Picture a consultant earning $90,000 a year who decides to hold for quarterly planning meetings at their own house instead. Local short-term rental comps for a similarly sized space run around $350 per day in that same area. For meetings at 2 days, each comes out to 8 total days, worth roughly $2,800 in straight rental income. Before using this strategy, that $2,800 would have simply stayed inside taxable business profit, taxed at their normal personal rate. After using this strategy, that same $2,800 moves to the owner completely tax-free, while the business deducts it in full. Same business, same income, same year, just structured a little differently with paperwork that took maybe an hour to prepare. No new clients, no extra hours worked, no additional risk taken, just a different structure wrapped around meetings already happening. And this is just a conservative version. Since some business owners stack this directly alongside a separate home office deduction in the same year, stacked correctly and documented properly, the combined value can meaningfully exceed what either provision would deliver completely on its own. But do this wrong. By renting out the exact same room, you are to claim as your home office, and both deductions can collapse together. The IRS wants to see personal use fully displaced during the rental, which means it cannot be the same space you deduct daily. That particular stacking move is exactly the kind of detail a generic online tax calculator will never actually walk you through. Here is exactly what to do this week if you actually want to start using this for yourself before the year ends. First, confirm your business is actually taxed as an S-Corp or a C-Corp, since that exact distinction matters here significantly. Standard sole proprietors and basic single-member LLCs taxed as disregarded entities cannot legally use this provision at all this way. The IRS treats you and a disregarded LLC as the exact same taxpayer, so renting to yourself changes nothing legally. Second, gather 2 or 3 written rental comps from local venue listings or short-term rental sites near your own address. Screenshot those listings, save the page somewhere safe, and keep that proof in a folder you can actually find later. Third, draft a simple written agreement between you and your business stating the date, business purpose, and agreed daily rental rate clearly. This does not need to be complicated or lawyer drafted. It simply needs to exist clearly in writing before the meeting happens. A single page with the date, the purpose, and the rate is usually enough to satisfy what documentation actually requires. Fourth, have your business pay you directly, by check or bank transfer, and keep that payment record permanently inside your own files. Cash payments with no paper trail are exactly the kind of detail that turns a clean strategy into a messy problem. A digital transfer creates an automatic record, which is exactly the kind of evidence you want sitting in your files. The danger zone is going over 14 total days in 1 calendar year, which quietly erases every protection this rule was built to provide. Cross that line even once, and the entire benefit can be challenged for every single day you claimed that year. This is not tax advice for your exact personal situation. So talk to a real CPA before you actually file anything yourself. But now, you know precisely what to ask them, instead of just nodding along while they explain something you cannot fully evaluate yourself. So why does the IRS supposedly hope you never find this, even though they are the ones who originally published the rule? It is not some malicious plot designed to keep regular people poor while insiders quietly profit from staying silent about it. Nobody at the IRS is sitting in a back room actively hoping you remain uninformed about your own legal options. Mass usage of any deduction simply reduces total tax revenue. And most people never learn this rule because nobody profits from teaching it. Your accountant gets paid the exact same flat fee whether you save $4,000 or save absolutely nothing at all this year. Schools never taught you tax strategy. Your job never taught you tax strategy. And silence quietly became the accidental default setting for everyone. Nobody is conspiring against you, but nobody is fighting for you either. And that gap is exactly where this lives. The truth here is wilder than any conspiracy. It is simply that nobody around you was ever incentivized to explain this clearly. So here is the one sentence that matters most out of everything you just heard in this entire video right now. The rule is public. The math behind it is real. And the vast majority of people simply never think to ask about it. Knowing it exists is the easy part, Actually, sitting down and doing the paperwork is the part that separates people. There's actually a second version of this that works even bigger for business owners who own multiple properties, and I will cover that next. Drop a like if this helped you see something you had never noticed before, and drop your business structure in the comments below. I will read through the comments and tell you honestly whether this specific strategy actually applies to your exact situation right now.